Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Vincent de Vries, as Jonas already said. Thank you for being here today. Our session is called Intelligent Monitoring of VMware and Oracle. And today I really want to talk about one part, actually monitoring VMware and Oracle, and showing some of the capabilities of our management pack. And also, because it is SCOM-Day today, I would like to show you a bit of custom reporting which has nothing to do with our management packs, but you can report with the help of our management packs. So I would just like to show you that, because it's a pretty mixed audience. I was going to ask you the question, who has experience with Operations Manager, but I think that's pretty much all of you. Who of you have actually, have Oracle in their environment? Well, that's a fair amount. And who uses VMware? That's pretty much everybody. Anybody actually planning to go to Hyper-V and not continuing using VMware?
Using both.
Using both? Okay, excellent. Well then, yeah, I think most of the people will actually take something out of this. Who of you have done something with reporting before in Operations Manager? So very few. Anybody ever tried it and had big difficulties with it or just gave up? Okay, so we'll look at that later. So there are about three things I would like to talk about. First, why monitor Oracle and VMware with SCOM? I mean, it's a valid question. There are so many systems out there which already do that for you. So why use SCOM if you want to monitor it? And then also, when we're done with actually looking why we would monitor Oracle and VMware with SCOM, we just want to have a quick look how to create custom performance reports with Operations Manager and the reporting server. It can be pretty tough, but I'm trying to make it a bit easier. And then I would like to take it one step further and do a bit of forecasting with our latest reports over some of the metrics in Operations Manager, so the data warehouse. So I guess my first question is, why monitor Oracle and VMware with SCOM at all? I mean, there are so many tools already out there. I mean, when we take a look, I mean, I took a few screenshots of various tools out there. And first of all, we have Oracle Enterprise Manager, which does a great job at monitoring its own products, Oracle. So you can actually do query analysis. You can monitor your whole high availability, so rack environment. And it is actually the tool of choice for many of the admins out there, or Oracle admins. Now you have things like Foglight, which is a standalone tool which is out there. You have various dials and gauges to see how your whole Oracle environment is doing. You have things like Nagios. I mean, it does a pretty good job. It's open source, but you can also get the enterprise version paid, so you can get support and you can get all your metrics in there for your whole environment. So, that's something you can use as well. And when we look at VMware, then usually the tool of choice is vCenter, which you can monitor your ESX environment. But if you want to take it a step further, you can use vCenter Operations Manager, and you can have heat maps and kind of do some analysis over your whole environment and do some predictions. So these are a few of the things you can do. And of course, something like PRTG. And this is just a cross-section of tools which is out there, kind of like standalone tools or other tools which you can use to monitor VMware. And Oracle, of course. So, if there are so many tools out there already which you can monitor VMware and Oracle with, what are the advantages of using Operations Manager when you're going to monitor these products like Oracle and VMware? Well, one of the first and foremost things is already if you're a Microsoft-centric, you're already familiar with the technology, so it's relatively easier to implement. And integration with other products of Microsoft, like System Center Service Manager, is relatively easy then, instead if you use some other ITSM tool or monitoring tool. Another advantage would be that admins only have to maintain one monitoring tool, and that's also an organizational advantage, because you know, if you have all these scattered tools like maybe Oracle Enterprise Manager, PRTG for maybe networking, then you know it's a pretty high load to also maintain these type of tools. Of course, you also have your single pane of glass, single point of alert distribution. Well, your single pane of glass, of course, you get all your alerts in one point, which is nice and easy because you look at one console and you see how your environment is doing. Now, one of the big things, of course, in Operations Manager, which all the other tools don't really have, is line of business monitoring. So basically what you do is, for the people who still don't know about line of business monitoring, you get two separate entities which have no correlation yet, and you create a correlation between them. So, for example, if you would have an Oracle database at the back end of a website, maybe on an IIS server, then you can correlate these things. So if your IIS server goes down or your Oracle database goes down, your whole service goes down, and you can model that. And you can model that for anything in a line of business monitoring application you like. Now the last one is a lower cost of monitoring, but that kind of makes sense if you only take one tool instead of many tools. And you know, it's probably also licensing and that kind of stuff, how you can lower cost of monitoring. So if you choose for SCOM to monitor Oracle and VMware, and you have your SCOM in place, what now? You know, what are we going to do with it? What are we going to do with all this information? Well, first of all, there are some difficulties when you want to monitor Oracle and VMware with SCOM. I mean, first of all, these technologies, they're kind of a mismatch. When you take Oracle, the preferred installation platform is still Linux. If you take VMware, then the management partition also runs on Linux. But if you, just simple examples like VMware, in VMware you have alarms, and in SCOM you have alerts. So sometimes it's kind of like having a round peg and putting it in a square hole. You can have to make the translation of information between the two systems. Now, when you make the technology work, I think that's actually the easiest part. You have to kind of convince your organization to make it work. A lot of the time you have Oracle and VMware admins which prefer their own tools like Oracle Enterprise Manager, vCenter, and stuff like that. They don't want to use SCOM, they're used to their own tools. You know, why should they actually shift towards Operations Manager? Which is a valid question. And you also have things like admins, they don't want an agent installed on their Oracle machine. Or same goes for VMware admins, they don't want to have an agent installed in their management partition. You know, they're afraid, and it's probably a valid point that, you know, it might impact the performance of their machines or the configuration. You know, and these things are unknown for most Oracle and VMware admins because they don't know what a SCOM agent does. So then, if we have to convince these administrators that SCOM is good for them, how can we help them? You know, how can the product SCOM help them? Well, usually we've answered this question a lot when we do live meetings for companies that actually want to implement SCOM and want to monitor Oracle and VMware. Well, first of all, when we want to do this, we position SCOM not so much as a troubleshooting tool. You can do a bit of troubleshooting with tasks and stuff like that. But it's not its primary goal. It's to tell you something is wrong in your environment and to get an idea where about the problem is. So when you position it that way, you can tell Oracle that, hey, you know, I mean, here's something that's going to alert you when something is wrong. But, you know, in the meantime, you can do something else. And when there is something really a problem, you can still use your own tools to actually troubleshoot and, you know, go in depth with that problem. So, yeah. You know, when they accept this, you can also say, you know, SCOM complements by monitoring, alerting, and reporting. So, you know, actually the admins, they can focus on more important tasks, on, you know, tuning their databases or something like that, instead of continuously worrying about, you know, is my database up or down? Now, one of the other things is you also have SCOM has a huge data warehouse in which you kind of insert alerts and performance information. And this can also help them because over a longer period of time, you'd be able to get information about your Oracle and VMware environment and try to correlate it and make reports out of it. So these are a couple of arguments which you can talk about with the Oracle and VMware admins to actually get them to accept SCOM and start monitoring with SCOM or their environment with Operations Manager. So I'd like to give you a little demo of monitoring Oracle and VMware with the Operations Manager. And obviously this is done with our own management pack. Basically what we supply is a agentless management pack, so you never have to install an agent on any of the systems, either on VMware or Oracle. Okay, so first I'd like to give you a small demo on the Oracle Management Pack. Basically, all our management packs are designed so that you only have to import the management pack and that's it. You never have to install any third party or any other installer or runner or something. All the components are contained in the management pack itself. So when we go to the Oracle Management Pack, our starting point is actually the configuration console. And now because it's actually agentless, first of all what you need to do is you need to choose a monitoring node, which can be a server, a Windows server, which has a SCOM agent installed in it. Any SCOM, any Windows server with any SCOM agent. So once you select that and nominate it as a monitoring node, you can go on and go to the Add Remove Instance tab. And you see that we have the monitoring node selected here, and you can have multiple if you'd like, so you can choose more. And what we need to do is we need to fill in some information. So if we want to monitor a server named Aura Linux 05, then we type that here. We type the instance name of Oracle, and the port number and so on, and the account. Well, we're using system at this point, which is a pretty high-powered account, but in actual fact, you only need a read-only account, which hits a few tables and not all the tables. It's a bit much, going into which specific ones right now, but you'll see that, you can lock it down pretty tight. Enter your password for the database or for the account which you want to monitor with, and then you test the connection. Once it's successfully connected, it will be added, you can add the instance here, and then it will start discovering all the components in the database. Now let's take a look at those components. Oracle is pretty much made up of an instance, so we'll check the state for that. And right here we have two instances which we're monitoring in our test environment or demo environment, and you can see that here some of the information is already displayed, so we have our database name, version number, the role, and so on. We also have the OS type, and it's interesting, this is a Linux database, or running on a Linux OS. So our management pack is pretty much platform agnostic, so you can monitor any Oracle flavor on, be it Linux, HP, Unix, Windows, or Solaris, or anything like that, which you choose. So once you have that, once the information is being discovered, you can drill down into any problem. And here we see that we have some invalid objects in the database. Well, you're used to this. And then we get some causes and how we can actually resolve these. So you're pretty much used to that, I guess. And one of the big things in Oracle, of course, is we have our storage. And the ones who work with Oracle a fair bit, it works a little bit different than Microsoft SQL. So here the logical unit would be an instance, which would be something like a database in Microsoft SQL, and table space would be comparable to also a database, I guess, but it's a file on the file system which actually grows. So let me not get into that right now. In any case, we monitor the table spaces of an Oracle database, which are pretty important actually because they take up space on disk, and they have performance counters, so I/O, and it's tightly integrated with the performance of an Oracle database. So we can list all these here, and we can drill down in them, and of course we also check some performance metrics for these, so basically the growth of the table space, the I/Os, and so on and so forth. Now, Microsoft has made some dashboarding technology, which is pretty great. I mean, it looks really nice and snazzy, and you can actually do some pretty neat things like list the top active users or something in a database. So we supply these out of the box for you, but you can also make them yourself because the management pack just adheres to the class model of Operations Manager.